Bitcoin is flashing breakout. Are you positioned or praying? I don't know. I feel like I'm praying these days.
Yeah, so the big problem that people have is that they've been burnt so many times by Bitcoin or by crypto that they're scared. They never really suffered a recession before, because remember, we had a recession in like 22, this downward move, and we're like, people weren't used to that. The COVID recession lasted a couple of weeks before price V'd from the bottom. And before that, the last recession was, like real recession, was the global financial crisis in 2009. So can you imagine that between 2008, 2009, all the way till essentially 2022, people aren't used to the price falling.
Right.
And so they've been burnt. Plus, the altcoins for crypto don't seem to be moving. There's none of this euphoria and this bouncing around and people making money all over the place and all that sort of thing. You know, you had a little bit of things on pump.fun, you had a little bit of movements, Pepe coin and all that sort of thing, but it's not the vibrance that we had in the two last cycles. So people have this idea that we're not in a bull market, which is why you're not getting the large levered positions long that we would normally see at some point in the cycle. But it does not mean that Bitcoin has not been bullish. Bitcoin has been bullish since 2023, right? If we take a look at the Bitcoin chart, since 2023, here, Bitcoin's been, just crushing it. That's a bull market. This is a bull market, and we're still in this bull market. And every time the price gets down to liquidity levels, it bounces up, just like it does in every market. And in fact, right now, we're in this plateau, which is very much like the plateaus that we see right before a big move. So people are scared right now, right? There's a rolling recession that seems to be happening. You're going to take a look at the data that Kathy Wood provides on her In the Know series, if you want a quick peek at that. But there's all kinds of recessionary signals that are happening. So you have like people getting their job, getting laid off from their jobs. I had a story, Peter, recently where a potential client of mine was telling me that he went to like an Ivy League school. Him and his colleagues, they went into Silicon Valley. They were in entry-level to mid-level jobs, making six figures and all that. And all of a sudden, they all got fired because AI took their job.
Whoa.
AI took the job. So they're like, there was tariff concerns, there's all kinds of issues, but really AI came and was like eating their lunch. And not only did they lose their jobs, there's no expectation that their job will ever come back.
Eesh.
Some of them have to go back to their home countries because they're like, well, there's no opportunity over there. Why am I going to go spend Silicon Valley rent money? I have to live in a room with 6 other people. I might as well just go back to my home country and try to survive over there. So these jobs aren't coming back. So you have these recessions that are happening, these rolling recessions that are happening in white collar jobs, right? Who do you think are buying the altcoins? Who do you think pumps these bags? To begin with, it's the retail traders inside of these locations. So you had that happening within the tech sector. We just had a story recently with Microsoft laying off 9,000 employees. Did you hear about this?
I did, yeah.
So Microsoft lays off 9,000 employees across Microsoft, a bunch of them also inside of the Xbox industry, Xbox sector, so in the gaming industry. And people are scratching their heads because Microsoft is at all-time highs. They're making record amounts of money, but then they're laying off thousands of people. Well,
but I heard, but didn't I saw a tweet recently that said in the same month that they laid off these thousands of people, they requested like 6,500 HB1 visas.
So that's still problematic for the very people that we would expect to be part of the crypto bull cycle. Those H1B visas are not coming over to be buying crypto.
Right. And the
so we're not seeing the retail participation. However, what we are seeing is that, and then plus on top of that, with the tariffs, there's the big problem of this uncertainty about the future. So if you want to start a new company, if you want to invest, you want to get money, you want to get VC funding and all that, it's a little bit trepidatious. Is your industry going to be touched directly or indirectly by the whole tariff war? What happens if it gets worse? What's going on with the wars throughout the world? There's bombings happening. This political unrest within the United States. It's all like a little bit murky. All while Bitcoin's making all-time highs. All while the stock market is making all-time highs. But the S&P and the Nasdaq are making all-time highs, but not the Russell. So it's like, okay, what's going on here? Like, what's happening? All right. So what that means is that under the surface, Powell actually said this the other day. What did Powell say? Let me see if I can get the quote here. 1 second before I pull it up.
Are we going over to the Fed thing, or are we still talking about out for Bitcoin?
One more time.
Are we moving over to the Fed conversation, or are we still talking about the flashing breakout for Bitcoin?
Okay, well, let's do the breakout again. Let's lead that into again. 1 second. I got too excited there, Peter. There, let's refresh.
Is that a refresh sound?
It's a refresh sound.
I feel refreshed.
Let's do it. Okay. So Bitcoin is breaking out right now. Right now it's happening. Right as we speak, it's happening because we have this trend line for this bullish flag. And Bitcoin, it moved up once. Let me show you this. It moved up once to the top of the channel, down. Up twice to the top of the channel, down. The third time, it pulled back halfway, and now we're breaking above it. So Bitcoin is very likely to move quickly up to anywhere between 114 and 120. Retest the breakout. We're going to retest the breakout, potentially, and then blast off. So right now it's breaking above the trend level. So you're going to ask me, Peter, is this a good time to get in? Yes. Now it's a good time to get in if you want to risk, right? Once it breaks above here, if it explodes up, do I say get in there? No. Wait for the pullback. The pullback will be somewhere to between 108 and 111. You wait for the pullback, and then you get in again. Tom, take your profit. What happens if the pullback doesn't happen? Well, you should have got in when I was telling you to get in. At 99, at 105, I don't know what to tell you.
What about just getting in now?
Trains leaving the station. One more time?
Just get in now and be long.
Yeah. But let's say there's some people who go, I want to wait for the breakout. Okay. If you wait for a breakout, well, good luck getting in on a breakout at 50x leverage. Probably going to do something lower. Fine. You can wait for the pullback in order to get a good breakout, but that's going to be a wick, Peter. People don't understand this. You're going to get a wick. Just like we had the wick there for the 105 level that I called out last week. You had 2 hours or something like that in order to get in there. I was telling somebody, did you set the limit order at that level like I asked you to? Did you set the limit order? Because I told them set a limit order at that price. They didn't set a limit order. So they got in a few $1,000s higher. Okay, now I'm in. You missed out 1/5 to 1/3 of the move. Get in with the liquidation price. So if we do get a breakout, you set your, I'll tweet it out. I'll let people know this is where you want to expect a wick down in order to get your entry. But after that, I think we're done. I think we're not going to come back to this level until later on at the end of the cycle. And we're going to see Bitcoin skyrocket. And nothing would make me happier than a bunch of people sitting on the sidelines as the shorts get liquidated and Bitcoin gets to 150 and beyond. And they go, no one could have seen this coming. Yes, they could have. Yes, they could have.
You underestimate my power.
All right. Well, look, that's exciting. So Bitcoin is breaking out. So that's happening right now. What are you in? You said you're tweeting these things out. I thought you weren't tweeting out these trades anymore.
I'll tweet out some things.
But if you want to know, like, so are the insiders, the people who subscribe to Sacred Profit, are they in the know? Do you tell them your trades? Where do you post that?
Yeah. So in our dashboard, you'll get signals for every one of the signals, even if they're not like full on 100% conviction. Just basically whatever signal setups happen, I'll post them there. But what I expect is that you tune in to Sunday Fuel or you take a look at our Telegram group where I get to post extra little tidbits of what I'm thinking. I don't want anyone thinking that I am perfect. I know I seem that way.
Do you?
Because I'm what's the phrase? Damn it, what's the genie phrase from Aladdin? Semi-phenomenal, nearly cosmic powers. That's what it is. And as I get better understanding the Lord of Liquidity and having him whisper dulcet tones into my ears, I'll be able to be more precise. But I can make mistakes just like the rest of you guys. I am partly human. But you get far more information inside of the Sacred Profit group, the dashboard and all that, than you will get on YouTube or on Twitter. That's just how it is.
So Sacred Profit is not just where you get sacredprofit.com is not just where you get all the indicators at zero cost for free, these premium optimized indicators, but you also get a dashboard that has the buy and sell signals. Like what is that?
I don't offer buy and sell signals. I offer trend signals.
Trend signals.
So essentially I say here at this level, we're going to get a move. That you're likely to get a bounce or a drop. And I say, hey, this is the level you want to take a look at. It's up to you then to use the indicators and your own understanding in order to be like, oh, this would be the perfect setup in order for me to get there. Because what often happens is that the price will get to a level that you go, oh, this looks like it could be a place where I should be either long or short, but I'm not sure. And I like to be able to provide the trend signal and be like, hey, no, this is, yes, it is bullish. And yes, this is a good level to get into. And then however way you get there is perfect. Now, because I trade 50x leverage, to me, it's very important to get the entry because you can be right directionally and still get liquidated. And so that's why to me it's very, very important. But I do not provide buy and sell signals. I don't do that, except for poly market. I go, like I said, buy on the first. You would have already doubled your money, that sort of thing.
Sacredprofit.com, head over there, sign up. It's free. Every indicator that you see that Tom is using, that he's talked about, they're all available for free. If you need some help understanding a little bit more how to use it and all that stuff, you can contact him. We are going to be doing tutorial series on this channel very soon, so I highly recommend that you like and subscribe. And if you want to get some of those calls, the calls that he's going to be putting out to people, head over to Sacred Profit on X. He's optimized for 50x leverage, so he really only talks about the things, big swings, right? Big swings, and you got to get a perfect entry. But that doesn't mean that that's exactly how you have to trade. These indicators can help you with whatever style that you're in. You've seen it demonstrated here today. If you're watching a clip right now and you didn't watch the whole stream, I highly recommend you go and find that clip. I'm going to be posting it online that explains the indicators, that explains how to use them and the philosophy behind them. It'll be extremely useful for you. Sacredprofit.com. Do it now.